Hello. Hopefully you can hear me and everything's set up. Change of plans because my it's the wrong controller. My TV is back to playing silly buggers and kept on switching off and throwing my game from the TV onto my PC. It's not great when you're trying to stream. So we are instead going to do story time with Joe today. And we're going to have a look at Autumn's Journey, which looks very interesting. This came out December last year, and I got a copy of the game for streaming purposes. It is another one published by Ratalaika Games, and it is developed by Apple Cider, who have not produced anything else on Xbox, but that doesn't mean they've not done anything else. So I don't actually know what this is about, so let's have a look. Ooh, dragons. Dragons and angels. Sweet. Sounds good to me. So we will go with this, and yeah. Just feeling really anxious today, and you know, tech issues didn't help, so rather than you know, getting stressed about it, I thought I would just change what I was streaming, and yeah. Oh, I think I need to adjust my Xbox thing. I turned it really down low last time, so hopefully you can hear, but it's quite low. It's quite low. I believe I turned it down because I saw Black Clouds was peaking quite badly, whereas this one is not, so yeah, I'll just leave everything as is. I accidentally set it into Spanish. So yeah, it's feeling a bit tender, shall we say. Very much looking forward to having a 4-day weekend and finally getting to eat my giant chocolate bunny. For some reason I've just not had the appetite for it, which is a shame. Yeah, hopefully we'll have an interesting story time, and my upstairs neighbours won't drive me crazy because, you know, they seem to coincide their let's have a giant party with Joe streaming. I would have done Darkside, except yeah, with my TV playing up, I wasn't quite sure what it was going to try and do. Also, for some reason, the game I picked wasn't detected as the window, which is annoying. I was going to do some contradiction with our good old friend Rupert Booth, but it was not playing, so it was not capturing. Which is why I'm slightly late going live, and then the TV started acting up, so I was like, right, let's just let's do story time. So yeah, yeah, I'm just going to start because it doesn't matter if no one's here. I'm doing this for me. Oh, there we do have a raid. Thank you, Jessie, for the raid. Much appreciated. Party of 6, table in the corner. Actually, no table outside, because there is still the rule of 6. Yeah, I haven't had a chance to do a tech test because I switched what I was streaming with, but the bars are going up, so, you know, if you can't hear me, then it's lying to me. Sunlight. Oh, game is louder than me. That's interesting. Right, well, we can sort that out easily. There's voice, so we might get voice. Oh no, that's a save game. Thanks, Jessie. Oh, and hi, Zeronix as well. Okay, so if everybody is sitting comfortably, then I will begin. Welcome to Storytime with Jo. Sunlight filtered through the airy birch forest as the lush ferns grazed my boots. I momentarily shielded my eyes before I turned north, treading carefully. The muggy atmosphere that had hung over the past few months was now being replaced by the subtle crispness of fall. I love the little acorn. It's cute. Though the trees were still vibrantly green, apple picking season was fast approaching the town of Bury. I cheerfully stretched one arm towards the sky, inhaling deeply. And thus my weekly scouting for monsters, bandits, or anything out of the ordinary that may harm local citizens is over.
Right!
And that concludes my mission. I laughed, wondering why I was announcing my agenda to no one. I guess I always wanted to say that out loud. Walking around alone does prompt you into monologuing, just so you can hear a voice. Yes, as does being alone for an entire year. I was going to do contradiction with Mr. Rupert Booth, Dan, but my TV decided it was going to start going whoop, and the game wouldn't capture, so I decided it was going to be story time instead. It's a shame, but hey, this gets a promo out the way, and that originally was the plan before I changed it again. So in fact, we've changed back to the original plans. But either which way, as I said before you came in, I'm feeling a bit tender, so we're going with story time and trying not to go mad slowly because my upstairs neighbours do not understand the meaning of inside voice. And please don't come through the ceiling. So very hard to let it go when it's constant. Especially after I've had an entire day of meetings. And yeah, it's just a bit much. So, we're having story time and tough if you wanted something else. I just wish I wasn't restricted to freelance work in Bury though. How long is my training going to last? I'm more than ready for knighthood. I can do this. I adjusted the belt holding my sword, making sure the hilt could be pulled out at a moment's notice. Humming, I decided to meander back to the village by following the thin river down the gentle slope. I loved the terrain here. Not super rocky, but not entirely flat either. There was always an inclination, and higher up, I could get a breathtaking panorama of Bury and its endless orchards. I didn't have anything set up for Crab, Dan. I only generated the list today. I've not had a chance to look at it. I don't know whether there's anything I can stream. And if you want a Crab stream, do it yourself. This is for me. I like story time. It calms me, and I need to be calm. Especially in autumn, when the leaves were so vibrantly red that the entire forest seemed to ignite, and the smell of crisp frost and thick fallen foliage lingered welcomely. It was then I spotted something entirely out of the ordinary near the riverbank, leaning against a birch tree. Thin birch trees were not exactly known to be comfortable resting spots, and I did not recognize the stranger's attire. Hello? Are you a traveller? His face came into view and I realised he was sleeping. But that's not what caught me off guard. He had beautiful protrusions resembling shale shards jutting out of his long hair, right where someone's ears should be. Or was it a decoration covering his ears? I suddenly wanted to touch them, but I resisted. If he woke up in an untimely manner, it would be kind of awkward to explain. At first I was about to leave, but then I noticed something else rather odd. From a single glance, I saw no bags, no possessions, or anything else on him. This place was too far away from civilization for a simple afternoon stroll. Was he mugged? And if he'd been in Bury previously, I would have known. It was that small of a town. Curiosity won me over. Hello? A flicker of concern passed over my face. I grabbed his shoulder and gave it a gentle shake, finding his lack of response unnerving. I quickly hovered a hand in front of his nose. Sure enough, he was breathing, and I did not see any injuries that would suggest he was knocked unconscious. After some more feeble attempts to wake him, I decided to improvise a camp. I did not want to leave him unattended, and I knew I couldn't drag his body very far. Tossing down my bag, I went to work. I don't know how to read ... as anything other than ellipsis. I shall pause dramatically. Was that dramatic enough? The fire crackled merrily on the birch wood as I opened my cloth, which contained a lump of rye bread and hard cheese. Yes, however, I'm trying to break myself of saying when I don't know what to say, because when you're trying to give a presentation at work, is not a professional sounding word, shall we say. It's fine, but yeah. I was quite glad that you were streaming, Jessie, because I knew that it didn't matter that I was 10 minutes late because you were still going and I could see it. And I was like, this is reassuring because people are not going to be sat there wondering what the heck's going on. Plus, I caught quite a good portion of the stream, even if I had no clue what was going on. It seems like a nice game. I get the impression that you don't have to do all the things to get all the achievements, which is a shame. I hate it when they do that. At least give me one for finishing the game. Oh, I think I would too. Though the fighting thing with the little... It looked like you were weaving the heart through the path. I'm not sure how complicated that's going to end up being. But yeah, it's on my list of games to play. Something that I don't have to stream because you streamed it, so everyone knows what it is, but something I might be able to enjoy. You still not done the story? Yeah, you see? Achievements. Yeah, so you see, you stream it, and then I'll play it. And then it'll be something that I know I can play if I'm looking for something to do off stream. Because at the moment I'm like, well, I could play this, but I could also stream it. And then I don't want to stream. And then it's just like... I can't remember whether I read this or not, so I'm going to read it again. The fire crackled merrily on the birch wood as I opened my cloth, which contained a lump of rye bread and hard cheese. Now, I remember saying rye bread now. Fair enough. These were emergency rations, lest I was unable to return to Bury. Mother and father were probably worried. Just as I was about to bite into the cheese, I saw movement and glanced up, eyeing the stirring stranger. Setting my food down, I cautiously shuffled over. I had previously placed his body in a supine position and used my bag as a substitute pillow. Though it was probably more lumpy than anything else, it was better than nothing. Are you awake now? You've been out all afternoon. I was getting worried. Don't be silly, Jessie. I trailed off before I started rambling and watched him curiously as he opened his eyes.
Whoa!
In a split second, he shot up and clumsily fell back. I caught his arm to steady him. Exactly! Whoa! Though I think he's probably going to end up being Scottish, especially if he's the other main character. Because you know me, I like to have a Scottish character in here somewhere. Whoa, take it easy, you just got up. He flinched from my skin contact, and I hastily let go, retreating slightly. Yeah, it's nice. It's different from... Which was the one in the cafe with the corporate spy and the dead body? Jisai? Jisai? I never know how to pronounce the name because it was never said. Yeah, Shiba Inu had the books, but it was Jisai First Adventure HD or something. Jisei. And that was voiced for the characters but not the narrator, which was interesting. And the mask one was voiced in Japanese and kind of freaked me out a little bit. So I had to turn the voices off. But yeah, okay. And this is doing its usual, when I'm paused, it doesn't play any music, so it's very silent. And thankfully there is a filter on my mic because, ugh, noisy upstairs, so noisy. Subs are better than dubs. Yes, but when I was trying to do the voice, having it speak in a language that I didn't know was unnerving because I was like, should I be speaking over them? What should I do? So, yeah. But yeah, generally, I don't know. Yeah. Mind you, I used to watch anime in French with French subtitles, so, not really the targeted language particularly either, but there's the Studio Ghibli ones. I've gotten used to the dubbed version. So like Kiki's Delivery Service, I could watch it in the original Japanese, but I kind of like the English voices because that's what I knew for the first time, but it depends on how tired I am. Because obviously I prefer to listen to stuff rather than how, because it means that I can sort of close my eyes or do something else. If I've got to read things, then, but if I go to the cinema and something is subbed, that's fine because I'm in the cinema, so I'm concentrating on the actual film. I remember watching, what was it, Jane Eyre in French as well? It's a very small little French cinema. I did Le Puta Castle in the Sky in French with French subtitles, which was just bizarre. Or was it in Japanese with French subtitles? Either which way, neither was my native tongue, and it was an interesting experience. Great movie though. Jane Eyre or Frankenstein? One of the classics. Watched it in French as well. Yeah. But yeah, if I'm at the cinema, then I will watch the film as it was intended, subs and all. But if I'm watching something on TV and doing something else, I will just not. I would prefer it for people to speak in English if possible, because anything in a different language, I'm going to have to pay attention to what I'm watching then. But yes, so this guy is bewildered. He flinched from my skin contact, and I hastily let go, retreating slightly. I didn't get any sense of hostility, but he certainly seemed bewildered. Who are you? There was an uneasy edge in his voice, not quite one of panic, but more of anger. Then I noticed that his eyes were of a brilliant amethyst hue, contrasting with his earthy hair tones. He does have beautiful purple eyes. Better to remain calm. I found you in the woods outside of Bury. The surprise did not leave his eyes. They darted quickly to his hands, which then covered his face. Lastly, he ran his fingers through his brown hair. The horror on his face was so unsettling that I dumbly sat there for several seconds before mustering the courage to address him again. Are you all right? Obviously not, but I wanted a better grasp of the situation. He attempted to sit up again, but this time I was prepared. Again, he was repelled by my touch, and I gave up the desire to help him that way. He still appeared unstable, but ceased in his sudden movements at least. He actually did it.
The hell?
The hell? He clutched at his temples, his fingers grazing over the odd fixations in the place of his ears. He wobbled as he tried to stand, and I impatiently rushed to his side. Stop it! You obviously can't move in your condition, so you might as well sit down and clear your head. What is going on? Who are you? And what are you doing here? He looked at me as if he was registering me for the first time since asking who I was. Everything about him screamed, overwhelmed, and he simply grit his teeth in frustration. Ask if he's hungry. I decided to find another angle to help him open up. I did not consider myself intimidating, but it was possible he had no desire to answer anything. Are you hungry? I softened my voice and returned to my spot by the fire. I grabbed the cloth and genially offered him the rye bread and cheese. He only arched an eyebrow in disgust. I can't arch my eyebrows. That probably looked incredibly hilarious. But hey, it's Thursday, so hopefully everyone's doing okay. We have a 4-day weekend coming up in the UK because it's Easter. And for those of us that don't really care about that, it's nice long weekend free because we don't have to use holiday for it. Considering the meetingful week I've had, I really need to figure out how to make it so that I don't have a butt ton of meetings every other week and a week with hardly any meetings, and somehow figure out how to spread it out a bit better, because it's exhausting. But yeah, what's impossible? Spreading out meetings. They tend to cluster together, don't they? Like some kind of thing that clusters. Life might do, but work should, adapt itself to what I need. Trying not to get stressed about things, but there's so many things happening that I could be stressed about that it's getting stressful telling myself not to be stressed about things. So yeah. Work is generally an unplanned adventure. Yeah. Well, it's certainly been interesting. It's just silly little things. Silly little things like bin collection and car parking and upstairs neighbours and not feeling like eating chocolate. And I love chocolate. And random things at work. And that sort of thing. So, yeah. Really quiet morning, then have to do everything all at once. Yeah, that tends to happen as well. It's like I'll start off the morning and I'll be like, cool, I have a couple of hours. And then it'll be like, no, let's shove another meeting in here. I think I had about 5 minutes to myself today. And I managed to get 3 deliveries. I was only expecting one of them today, I think. No, I was expecting 2 of them. I ordered The Greatest Showman on DVD because I've had the songs going through my head after watching a TikTok video. So I was like, I can't get it on streaming. So I'm going to buy it and then I can watch it over and over and over again because I love the music. I appreciate that, Jessie. I appreciate that. I am trying not to vent, to be fair, because I do a lot of venting and then it just makes me feel even more, sort of mad at things. And I'm just trying to be more calm. Channeling my friend Patrick, he just sort of, lets things flow. He's a very calm guy. So I'm trying not to vent because it feels a little unhealthy. But I appreciate the support and the offer. What I would like to do is play some games with my friends and chat about nonsense. That would be awesome. Because, yeah, I just, yeah. I know. I realize that, but then I just feel like it's like I keep on, venting about my upstairs neighbors, and I figure if I can maybe break myself of that habit, maybe I can try and like tune them out. I want to try and be positive about things and try and not, it sounds a bit hokey, but try and not invite negativity into my life and try and set some boundaries with myself. And try and be happy and cultivate my friendships and, I don't know. It sounds hokey, but, I feel like I've spent quite a lot of the lockdown, the pandemic. It's not really a lockdown, except that I've been locked down. Just sort of feeling sorry for myself and getting frustrated at things that I can't control. So I just want to try and be chill. I'm not a chill person. I really am not, but I'm trying. It's my New Year's resolution, in April. Yeah, try and let the little things go rather than letting them stress me out. I'll tell you if it works. So far, what it's resulted in is me buying a ridiculous load of candles. Yes, I know. I'm not chill. I'm trying. I feel like I should be able to be chill. But yeah, no, I spent a ridiculous amount on candles on Tuesday night to try and chill out. Not that that's a bad thing, but I'm not sure it was massively productive. And then yeah, buying show tunes. But yeah, it's quite funny. But I did get myself a sleep infuser thing because someone at work bought me a lavender candle, which reminds me of my grandma. And I don't know whether it's been helping with sleep, but it makes me feel comforted. So I bought an infuser so I don't have to worry about setting my bedroom on fire. So I will set that up. I have to open the box first, but I'll set that up. Hopefully get it good. Also, there was a new Easter egg Yankee candle, chocolatey one. So yeah, and some other ones that I wanted to try. So I was like, why not get the free delivery? I found a 10% off code. I was like, yeah, I need more candles. Like I need a hole in there. But I like buying them. So anyway, let's find out why this guy is disgusted with us. What is that? It's food. You chew it. I ripped off a piece of the dark bread and demonstrated, humming delightedly to show that it was edible. Mmm. He scoffed and averted his eyes.
I don't care.
I don't want it. It looks revolting. Sorry, my peasant food does not please my lord's tastes. Ugh, his attitude was rubbing off on me. Calm down. If anything, he's hiding that he's scared. He did just wake up in a foreign place. Are you nobility? Hmm? He fell silent, and only the occasional crackle of the fire and the hooting of owls interrupted the stillness. I leaned back and ruminated over my meal, careful to leave some food untouched in case he changed his mind. Ah, there was that apple tart too. I'll save it for later. Calm thoughts. Calm thoughts. I wrapped up the cloth, only vaguely aware that the stranger was examining my every movement. It nettled me slightly, but I decided not to comment. I did not want to do anything that would cause him to raise his guard even more. It was now dark, and I occasionally fed the fire, getting the feeling I was going to be spending the night. After what seemed like an eternity, he finally spoke up. Who are you again? Orly. I'm from the town of Berry. And you? Cur. Kerr? His name's Kerr? He reluctantly uttered the name, gazing into the fire. He seemed much calmer now. And how did you get here? His lip curled, almost smirking, knowingly. You probably wouldn't believe it if I told you. You have unusual eyes and a strange fashion accessory over your ears. I think I can find your story credible. He flexed his hand, scrutinizing his fingers carefully. He's acting like he's not been in a human body before. I didn't come here willingly. Or maybe he shouldn't be Scottish. Maybe he should have a posh accent. Was there a picture of the characters? There's 3 characters. There's a blue-haired someone or other. Well, he's Scottish now, so there we go. I didn't come here willingly. Out of all the places, I don't see why he decided to drop me in this low-born, simplistic... He glared at me as if offended that I had addressed him directly. So, where are you from? I'm not particularly tied to any region. If it's not obvious already, I'm not one of you. He tapped his knee petulantly. I'm one of the dragons. An earth dragon. He stated it full of pride, with no ounce of humility. Dubiously, I inspected him from head to toe, taking note of the stone-like juts for ears, and his remarkable eyes. He balked under my stare, but quickly regained his dignity. His eyebrows furrowed fiercely. I love the alliteration. Furrowed fiercely. So why on earth would an earth dragon be here? It's not because I wanted to. He blurted it out angrily, then touched his unique ears for comfort. I sighed and tilted my head from side to side as I absorbed his explanation. All right, I admit I'm not exactly accepting this as feasible, but I'm not dismissing it either. You can't transform back? If I could, do you think I would remain in this pathetic body? So weak? I instinctively patted my sword hilt to counter that remark, but stopped when I saw him attempt to stand again.
Whoa!
It was like watching a toddler take his or her first steps, but instead of cutely coaxing, I was fervently discouraging his efforts. We've already established that you're unfamiliar with your form. Besides, it's too dark to walk around aimlessly. I'll find a walking stick for you and we can return to Berry, if you'd like. It'd feel wrong if I abandoned you in this state.
I don't need your help.
I mean, obviously that's what his voice sounds like. Are you saying I can't handle myself? I'm pointing it out. Realizing we're both escalating our voices, I looked away in a huff, not wanting to have our encounter turn sour so rapidly. An altar? Huh? I need to find an altar. You heavenkind worship us, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, the dragonkind were here first. So it's only natural we pay our respects. I admit it. I thought dragons were more divine and irreproachable. Her was definitely giving me a different impression. I mean, I would have thought dragons would have had more impressive arms. A bit weedy. You know, a bit more muscle. A bit more definition. I don't know. I barely knew anything about the dragonkind, though. They focused on their own affairs. You will take me there? As a plain statement, not a suggestion or a plea. Why an altar? They're all heavenkind made. How would it help you? He parried my questions exasperatedly. That doesn't matter. Do you know where one is?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's one not far from here. There's a cave that leads to it. Relief watched over his face, and for once his scowl vanished. Good. We should go there at this instant. He obstinately tried to stand up again, but I lunged forward and firmly sat him back down. He gaped at me in disbelief, but my will was as stubborn as his. Morning, we will do this in the morning. Get some sleep and I'll find an ideal walking stick. I promise not to whop you over the head with it. I don't think you'll master bipedalism without some assistance, especially not in a day, and it'll be difficult if I have to physically support you the whole way up there. So just take it easy tonight. I'll even keep watch while you sleep. After my entreatment, he fell silent and gave an reluctant nod, closing his eyes wearily. I sighed gracefully, gratefully even, feeling moderately triumphant over that battle of pig-headedness. As Care was grumbling, I leaned over and pulled a small blanket out of my bag. The temperature was still pleasant, even at night. It could cool rapidly, especially since it was the end of summer. After returning some items to my bag, I reshaped it so it was a passable pillow again, and offered it to Kerr, who seemed puzzled by its purpose. Believe me, you'll need something comfortable or you'll have trouble sleeping. Worse, you'll wake up with a sore back and getting to the altar will be even more troublesome. You already slept on it once, and I think you can figure out how to support your head with it again. You have a Connect game on it? Really? Gonna have a look now. How did you manage to do that? Ooh, you have Quantum Break though. Yeah. Do you not have a Connect anymore? You also have Crackdown. Mine's not too bad. I've got some stuff that I probably won't play. Yeah, I mean, I've got a Connect adapter, which I don't know whether it works or not, but I just basically set a whole bunch of stuff to not for contests. Though I have to finish Anodyne. I think I've just started that game. I have no idea whether... Oh, it's only 8 to 10 hours. But yeah, I don't know if there's a walkthrough or anything. I think I can probably get 15 without too much trouble. Whether I, yeah, I don't know whether I'm going to stream any. I'll have a look later, probably. I mean, I could have done a stream today, but I didn't have a splash set up because I didn't think about it. Yeah, every time I have a contest and something comes up that I don't like, I set the game as not for contests. But yeah. Yes, you have your many, many, many Zeldas. I just don't know if I've got the energy. I might think about doing some. If my TV plays nice, I'll do. I think I know what I missed to get in that Gedeon scene, so I might do a bit of a dark side stream on Sunday. And then, because it's bank holiday, I might do an extra stream on Monday this week. Next week, even. Whether or not it's crab, I don't know. Because I just don't know if I have the energy to stream and play the games. We'll see. If I do a splash screen up for it, then maybe. But yeah, just tired. It's hard to get up the energy to do anything when you're tired all the time. I was even just tired trying to remember to text people or, you know, keep in touch and stuff. Though I felt really good yesterday when I started streaming. Today I'm just still tired. But this whole underlying anxiety feeling, and I don't know why. Oops. I don't want to look up. I just want to send this message. Because it just reminded me that I had to send a message. I was also going to look at something. Yes, so. Oh, not asking for much there. I don't know. I don't know why I'm checking things. I shouldn't be checking things. I'm sorry. I was just curious whether there'd been a follow-up email about a thing. There is not. Right, well, let's just get on with the story. Probably go for about 2 hours, see how I feel. I know Scruff is streaming tonight, so I might try and go on, but it depends if I'm tired. Also, in the technical stuff, I forgot to replenish my tea, so we'll have to take a tea break in a little bit. Because that's cold. Speak of the devil, peeking in. I just was wondering whether I would manage it up until your stream or not. Because I was feeling tired today, it's Gruff. That was why I said your name. So, I mean, if you want to go live earlier, then, you know, that would save me having to decide. I laughed sheepishly at my own stab at lightening the mood. But I could tell it wasn't working for Care. I mean, I always want to raid people. It's just nice to have a continuous, you know, Jessie, me, and then on to you. So if you did feel like starting earlier, that would save me having to try and draw out me yattering for several hours. Because I'm just feeling tired. Disgruntled, he lay down on his side and experimented with a few positions before resting his head in satisfaction. Well, you've got at least an hour. At first he refused to use the blanket, but as the temperature dropped, he discreetly pulled it towards him, and he thought I wouldn't notice. Probably to hide his expression, he rolled over so his back was to me, and the campfire. I had the feeling the initial shock took a lot out of him, and I admittedly hadn't helped when he'd ruffled my feathers more than once. Now that he was sleeping, though, any irritation I still felt dispersed along with the summer heat. I would need to be mentally and physically prepared for tomorrow. Stay cool and collected as autumn. This is Autumn's journey. Interesting. Is it because it's a journey in autumn? Ah. Yeah, mine took forever to kick in yesterday with my headache, but then it eventually did. So far it's not come back again. Hi, Alkesh. Oh no! Bad neck's got not good. Oh, I've often done that, sort of woken in the middle of the night because I cricked, and then woken in the morning with cramp in my neck. It is not a good feeling. I poked the fire and stayed on my watch until exhaustion beguiled me into resting my eyes for just a few minutes. We're supposed to be keeping watch. Mm. Oh, that's cute. Look at the little chippies. It's like my little chippy. Hey. Oh, please. I've had less sleep than you, and I'm already energized and ready to go. Ah, yes. Thank you. Shoutouts. Not forgetting yourself. Did that not work? Stupid timeout. Don't time me out. There we go. There's a cooldown. Forgot about the cooldown. Pouting, I poked Kier some more with the walking stick I'd fashioned for him. It hadn't been easy to find a sturdy stick in a birch forest, but I had located a long one that would suffice. Their first name is Kerr. And I'm not saying that out loud, Scruff. I had spent the morning carving off any bark and had even indented the top to make it easier to grip. Now it was my dragon prod. Really sacred dragon! Yay! Poking the dragon! Wake her up with your mighty stick! Oh. I think I need a clang button.
Whoa.
Cut that out. Kerr hastily shows up, throwing off my blanket in a feeble attempt to hide the fact that he had used it. I decided to counter his usual scowl with the perkiest, most cheerful grin I could muster.
Whoops, sorry about that.
Morning. My buoyancy was genuine. For some reason, it satisfied me to know that my vivaciousness irked him. Love the words! If I could use my sunny disposition to my advantage, it'd be better than snapping at him, at any rate. Stop poking me with that.
You're welcome.
It's your walking stick. Here. I turned it sideways and offered it to him. He warily gazed at it as if I was presenting a cobra instead, but carefully grasped it. Cautiously, he pressed the stick against the ground as he stood up. I remained close, lest he topple over like yesterday. His fingers drummed against the carved handle, and he looked at me quizzically. You spent time on this?
Right.
Well, I wanted to finish it off with a pretty flowy ribbon, but I had the feeling you wouldn't like it. Grumbling, Kerr took a step forward, leaning on the stick before hesitantly taking another. With each step, he regained some confidence, and soon he was walking in a straight line, albeit with an uneven gait. He could not exactly break into a run or even a brisk stride, but it was a huge improvement from last night. I estimated we could reach the cave leading to the altar by mid-afternoon. I quickly packed and followed him, since I had the feeling the only thing on his mind was that altar. It's this way. I pointed towards the gentle incline, and Kerr narrowed his eyes resentfully. Going downhill would probably be difficult for him. As we headed towards our destination, I kept my distance at first, but I gradually drew towards Kerr, one hand extended in anticipation of a stumble. Kerr balked and increased the distance between us, determined to progress on his own. However, his pace was excruciatingly slow, and he was unwilling to start any small talk. As the slope gradually steepened, his footing became more unsteady, and I worryingly grabbed his arm for support.
Whoa!
He read that one for me. He twirled around in surprise, and I actually did end up bracing him. Once he was stable again, I sighed. Look, I know you don't like me touching you, but if your priority is to get to that altar as soon as possible, I think you can swallow your dignity and accept my help. Besides, no one else is around to see.
I don't need your help.
You have done enough. I don't need any more help from you. He shifted his weight and started using the stick to ward me away. I frowned disapprovingly. Hey, if you try and hit me with that thing, I'll confiscate it. I wouldn't even do something like that. Gritting his teeth, he leaned heavily against one of the birch trees. When I get back, I'm going to give him a piece of my mind. Who? My master? His curt answer stalled the torrent of questions piling up in my head. It would be poor of me to interrogate him when he was still obviously overwhelmed by the situation. Right now, the goal was more important.
Right.
Then let's get you to that cave. You believe me? Everything I told you? Maybe you're just a very convincing actor. I think even an actor would drop this charade after a while. Just as I was about to reach for him again, a low grumble pierced the forest. I glanced at Kerr in amused bafflement. He averted his eyes, but I could tell he was embarrassed. You know, if you're hungry...
Shut up!
I'm not. Another complaint from his stomach. I think you'll be able to walk faster if you have something to eat. What do dragons eat, anyway?
Annoying.
Meddling heavenkind. I rolled my eyes. Well, you have a heavenkind stomach now, and I doubt it'll agree with a diet like that. But it does make sense that you wouldn't want to try the bread or cheese. I doubt dragons thresh rye or run dairy farms. It was then that I remembered the apple tart. Even if Kerr found the pastry part detestable, fruit would probably be familiar to him. I urged him to sit down. When he refused, I simply made myself comfortable on the ground first. Here, this is the closest thing I have to something found in nature. I could forage, but that would take even longer. What is that? It's a pastry. My dad owns a bakery. You probably wouldn't understand that. It's basically a treat with apple filling, and I think some apricot jam. Thankfully, my dad preferred showing off the natural ingredients. As a result, the top of the tart had thin slices of appetizing fruit, covered with a lustrous yellow glaze. I have to admit, one of my favourite visual novels was the one with the cooking in it, because it was basically just food porn, and it was delectable, and all the achievements were for food. What was that? It was the one that I did for my first stream on Twitch, or my first, like, was it the first actual stream on Twitch, or was it my first affiliate, non-dual streamed? Fairly certain I'd gotten a new mic. No, I didn't have the new mic. What was it? I can picture the game. Does it have a demon in it? Yeah, I think it was the first Twitch stream. What was it? Strawberry something? Strawberry something? Well, if it was strawberry something, I can look up. Yes, I got sidetracked. Strawberry vinegar. I got sidetracked so much that what should have been a 3-hour stream took 5 hours and 20 minutes. Yes, it was my first Twitch stream on the 24th of June. Yeah, strawberry vinegar. Strawberry vinegar indeed. I really liked that game. I really liked that game, but yes, it had some amazing food in it. And I like my food. Even if I can't eat it all, I love hearing about it and seeing pictures of it. And aside from the weird breakfast soup thing, most of it was really, the rest of it was really, really nice. But yeah, every single achievement was for food. It was brilliant. But yeah, it was demons and cooking. It was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. But yeah, no, I got hella sidetracked, because I always do with these things. It's like, I'll think, oh, it'll be a quiet stream day today. There's not many people watching. I'll carry on with story time. And then everyone's like, oh, but we want to talk. And then I'm like, okay. And then I get about an hour of game and 2 hours of talking. But I don't mind. I like the interactions. I think it would be a bit boring if it didn't watch, or if there was no talking at all. I like getting distracted like that. But yeah. No. I'm thinking of my giant chocolate bunny, and it's like, I'm still not really hungry. That's a shame. Maybe I will feel like some this weekend. Maybe I can get some sleep. But anyway, right. Oh, Chibi! I love the art on this. It's great. Kerr sniffed it warily. It must have been agreeable enough, since he soon accepted the pastry. You're welcome. As soon as he started nibbling on it, he must have realised how famished he really was, because he quickly devoured the entire tart. I watched as he coughed slightly and wiped the crumbs off his mouth. His expression was unreadable. So how was it? And actually, what I am going to do is lob in a quick save and get some tea, because all this talking is making me a bit parched. So, I should be back in a few minutes. Feel free to hydrate and stretch yourselves, but otherwise, don't go anywhere. I'll be back soon. Spring sale. Oh, cool. Yeah, I don't know if there's going to be anything. I own most of the games. I mean, why don't we have a quick look? Because I'm just getting distracted again. Spring sale? Well, what we'll do is I'll look at my wish list, which is random. Is there any on sale? Why is my wish list broken? Alright, 5 items on sale. Okay. Well, those 2 are on sale fairly permanently. That's Game Pass. I'm not sure whether I want that one. And that's still not got a decent discount because it's Game Pass. So there's nothing necessarily in my wish list there that I want, unless it's not actually live in my thing. Is there usually a big thing for the sale? Eh. It's fine. Yeah, I think I had stuff that sounds vaguely interesting, but don't always want to play everything that I wish list. I use it on TA mostly just to track stuff that I might be interested in if it goes on sale. Less as an actual wish list. Especially because I keep forgetting to update it. But yeah, hi Mr. Corners. Right, anyway, let's get a little bit more story time in, and then hopefully Scruff's painkillers would have kicked in, and then I've had his coffee, and my sink will make me jump. I just did a gurgle. Yeah. Anyway, so how was it? Anything tastes fine when you're starving. Or you just inhaled it so fast you didn't actually taste it. Well, it should tide you over until we reach the altar. Kerr grabbed his stick and we resumed our trip. The extra sugar boost seemed to lift both the pace and his mood, although he stayed taciturn. As we continued through the forest, I stopped and groaned when I spotted some dark trees.
Oh no.
Oh, those are Euphalbin trees. Completely forgot. We should probably go around them. Euphalbin? He peered at the thick, gnarled trunks. What? Scared of the bark? I'll be quicker if we continue in a straight line. No, it's not about the trees. It's what lies in them. They make perfect nests for aviterals.
The hell?
Sounds like a vitamin. The hell are those? Those giant bird things. I thought you would know them. I would if I understood your names. Why are you giving new names to everything anyway? We dragons were here first, and we've already established... I raised my hand to silence him, not wanting to make any unnecessary noise. He scowled. With a shrill... Inhaled some dust. A shrill cry startled us both. Bloody hell. Then what do you call that?
Whoa!
Usually food. Well, that'll be us now. Perched on one of the lower branches was the reptilian bird with scales running down its front. The rest of its body was covered in earth-toned feathers. Though probably no taller than 4 feet... Really big bird. Its extremely wide wingspan and sharp talons made it a fearsome animal to encounter in the wild. Aviterals raised young way into the fall, so the mothers would be extra territorial this time of year. The bird ruffled its plume, making it seem larger than it was, and prepared to launch itself at us. I immediately stepped in front of Kerr, gripping my sword as I took a defensive stance. Kerr's condition and instant retreat wouldn't work. I'd have to guard him.
Whoa!
What's you're not planning to fight it, are you? Yeah! Do we have a look at it! I shoved Kerr off balance. Thanks to my quick reflexes, we narrowly avoided a slash from the Aviteral's talons. The wind whipped at my hair as debris flew up all around us. I scrambled to my feet and sprinted forward, hoping to keep the Evitorol's attention away from Kerr. As it dove towards me, I slashed upwards. It veered away, dodging my counterattack. I'll keep it busy, Kerr, while you get away.
Bring it.
Are you stupid? I'm not leaving you behind. Kerr? I need you to take me to that altar. Maybe if you shouted the directions at me, I could get there alone. Yeah! I'm kind of busy here. I can't get my bearings in the middle of a battle. My aggravation was the incentive I needed to keep the Evitorol at bay. However, my training had never covered aerial attacks, and the bird's scaly front was like armor.
The hell?
Yeah, are you holding back? Well, it's just protecting its young. It's trying to kill you. You think I haven't noticed? Oh, for their wings! Clip them, it won't hurt, but I'll stop them from flying. Just clip the tips. I widened my stance as I prepared for another attack. At the last second, I leapt to the side, slicing at an angle. My sword beautifully sheared the Evitorol's thick primary feathers. The monster swerved into the ground, its shoulder and head bearing the brunt of the crash. It let out a cry, and I felt a split second of guilt. That vanished with a yelp as the bird tried to tear me down with its talons. Luckily, the Evitorol was designed for swooping down at prey rather than running on the ground, so it could only hobble awkwardly. As it screeched and futilely spread its wings, I retreated, grateful that it was even slower than Kerr. I wove through the trees until it finally gave up chasing me. Then, sighing in relief, I looped back and returned to Kerr, who was also at a safe distance. It looked like it gave up, but what about its young? I'll be fine. The feathers will grow back and I can still hop back to its nest. Us babies won't need to eat us constantly at this stage anyway. Yeah, it makes me jump. I imagine it's quite loud on stream. Sorry about that. Gotta keep you on your toes.
Thanks.
You sure know a lot about them. Thanks for the suggestion. He snorted indignantly. I already told you they're food. Of course I'd know about them. Soon the forest was quiet once again, with only the sounds of our footsteps and the tap of Kerr's walking stick breaking the silence. Surprisingly, he did not protest when I suggested a safer route, nor when I walked nearly shoulder to shoulder with him. I had the feeling that starting a regular conversation would push my luck, so I kept my mouth shut, and instead hoped for no more setbacks. This is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a very deep cave. You simply take a turn and the altar is right there.
The hell?
That's it. No complex mazes, no shiny sacred magic lake with a guardian or anything. Hey, we did what we could. This is a modest altar. I took a deep breath and smiled reminiscently. I haven't been here in years. I think I came before to make the occasional offering around harvest season. I gave Kerr a cheerful look, but he continued forward, ignoring my recollections. I shrugged and followed, quickly catching up to him. Kerr awkwardly knelt before the altar, discarding the walking stick once he was comfortable. His eyes closed with a softened scowl, almost as if he was meditating. Suddenly his mineral-like ears perked. He stared directly at the statue. There was no change in atmosphere, but I could tell Kerr was angry. His hand tightly gripped his knee. I know we're connected. I demand that you remove this stupid curse. He fell silent, and I looked around in amusement. He was talking to someone. But I could not hear the other half of the conversation. For some reason that made me even more attentive as I tried to piece everything together. You can't be serious. So I said a few things, but yeah, I've met one. That's how I found the altar in the first place. He whirled towards me and blinked in confusion, as if studying me for the first time. I stiffened, wondering why he was staring at me so intensely. Once he finally turned away, I relaxed, although I could not help but feel anxious about the discussion. What about me?
Annoying.
Weak, pathetic, gives strange names to animals, doesn't seem to know much about Ashtera, or how the world works. Is he referring to heavenkind in general, or just me? What? I guess that food is half decent or something? What? No, you're not sending me on a pointless inspirational quest. I'm not a child. I can't even walk in this form. So your plan is... At that moment, a blinding light flashed from where Kerr was standing, and I flinched in shock. Whoa, Kerr! By the time I'd knelt down and worryingly grabbed his shoulder, the flash had already disappeared. In one smooth movement, Kerr removed my hand and stood up without the walking stick. His eyes seemed focused beyond me, and he slowly nodded to himself. Did your powers return or something? He extended his palm and lurched towards the ground, slamming it against the hard stone. The entire cave shook. The tremor visibly and mentally shook me as well, and my heart pounded loudly. I felt so paralyzed that I couldn't even scream. Once I found my balance, I looked bewilderingly at Kerr, who smugly flexed his unharmed fingers. I stared curiously at his cocksure expression. So? He barely glanced in my direction. That's not exactly what I wanted. Have a portion of my original powers and strength back along with my balance. And actually be comfortable in this form now. He gave a dismissive kick to the walking stick, then promptly walked away from the altar. I mustered a small smile.
Right.
Well, that's promising at least. What will you do next? Do what you ordered me to and become normal again?
I don't need
I can handle
your
this on
help.
my own. So you don't need to follow me? I had to anyway. There was only one way out of that cave. But as soon as we were in the open air, Kerr took off running with a grace and speed I'm sure no real heavenkind could even replicate. I blinked once, and sure enough, I was alone. I scratched the back of my head, still absorbing what just happened. You're welcome. Burying my head in my hands, I shook out my hair in frustration. Was I expecting something from this? Well, a thank you would have been nice. I tapped my sword hilt for reassurance. It's what a knight does. They help the weak and demonstrate their generosity when it is needed. Well, Kerr's not weak anymore. He can definitely take care of himself now. I guess my duty is done.
Right.
Mission complete. Just some experience as a reward and a discarded walking stick. The end. Deciding not to linger any longer. I started walking back towards Barry. My parents would certainly be worried by now. Meanwhile... that was the end of chapter 1! We did it! We managed to get through an entire chapter! Chapter 2. Welcome back. What's chapter 1 called? I missed that. Ow. Also, I slammed my fist down into the side of my leg and that hurt. Silly Joe. Why don't we sit up properly? Oh. There we go. That's better. Trekked back through the forest, careful to avoid any more wild animals. When I reached the spot where I'd previously set up camp, I decided to take a quick break to eat. I unwrapped my bread and cheese, poking half-heartedly at their grainy texture, as I stared at the remains of the campfire. As I was about to take a bite, I had an odd feeling, discomfort, and glanced sideways. I love the chibi animations! That's so adorable! Also, hi Ray! He's like, I don't know how to forage. I need food. Take me to your bakery so I can have all the apple pies. That's what I'm predicting. Definitely something about apple pies. But yeah. Am I really imagining things? I sighed. Yeah, I know you're there. You don't have to hide. There was only silence at first, but I heard a slight rustle and turned my head again. Seriously? You just moved to another location. I hope you weren't going to wait until I was asleep to steal my stuff.
Shut up!
I wasn't planning on doing anything like that. Kerr reluctantly emerged from behind one of the bigger trees. His expression looked conflicted, and I could tell he did not want to be with me again. Welcome back. Did you miss me? No, but then I realised I wouldn't be able to find the next altar without you. Well, you're out of luck. I don't know the whereabouts of any other dragon caves, nor am I carrying any more apple tarts if you're hungry. There is really no reason to stick with me. You'll need to get another guide or find someone else that can help. I don't want to have to go through the trouble of finding anyone else, at least until I get my bearings. I have no clue where to go from here. A small idea formed in my head. Maybe. Wait, perhaps I could accompany Kerr to Oliver. If I explain the situation to Mum, maybe she'll consider writing you the night recommendation letter. I like this. Use it to your advantage. Clever girl.
Right.
Then, if you'd like, I'll accompany you to Bury. From there, we can travel to Oliver. It's a huge city. You could probably find directions to other altars there. Does that sound acceptable? He grumbled in agreement and sat down on the fallen log I was using, but near the edge to leave plenty of space between us.
Look,
My master also asked me to interact with Heavenkind more, and I've already been with you long enough. Nice to know I'm tolerable to be around. Your master doesn't seem that bad. Ha! He has an interest in working with Heavenkind. I guess he didn't like it when one of his pupils didn't share his point of view. He grinned wryly. At least he was kind enough to curse you with some clothes. I didn't think dragons normally wore clothes. Is that a spell? Or are those the genuine articles? Kerr tugged on his shirt as if he were suddenly aware of it. I think it's a spell. It won't wear off or anything, won't? He scoffed. I assure you this spell won't wear off for my clothes. It's just I don't want to glance back during, I don't know, the heat of the battle and catch you stark naked.
Shut up!
That'll never happen. Jeez, why are you interested in seeing me shirtless? I mean, if you want, I can take these off right. No, please no. I trust in the magical sustainability of these clothes, so please keep them on. Besides, you'll stay warmer that way. Is that why Heavenkind wear them? Something like that. I pulled off some of the bread and popped it into my mouth. 2 seconds, I must read a message. Right. Bread. Okay, I like bread. I don't like rye bread though. It's a little bit too rich, I think. Yeah, I watched briefly with interest before hauntingly averting his eyes. Let me guess, you're hungry as well. I wouldn't know what Heavenkind consume, but I don't think I can eat what I normally would. As he pursed his lips, I handed him the rest of the bread. He arched his eyebrow in surprise at the offering. He arches very well. I cannot arch. I just end up looking like I'm pulling a funny face. It's like, are you okay, Drew? What are you doing with your eyes? Yeah, that did look as funny as it seemed. It's fine. I had a small breakfast and I'll be back in very soon. Without bothering to inspect it like he did with the apple tart, Kerr crammed the bread into his mouth. I stifled a laugh, since I had a feeling dragons had no concept of chewing. Propping my elbow on my knee, I watched him with amusement. I was also feeling a little unimpressed, how dismissive he was towards me. Oh, totally teasing him. I lowered my voice to imitate him. Oh, Orly, I'm so eternally grateful. You're the best that Heavenkind has to offer, and I'm so glad you helped me fed me and led me to where I needed to go. Where would I be without your immeasurable kindness? Thank you. Kerr coughed violently as he tried to respond and failed, and I continued. I feigned a sweet giggle and fluttered my fingers
You're
towards him.
welcome.
Okay, it was nothing. You're welcome. After panting his chest and swallowing loudly, Kerr tried to speak up.
Shut up!
Before I could start, I stuffed the last portion of cheese into his mouth. I kept my hand there, and we exchanged a meaningful look. His quizzical stare softened, and I took a step back. Burp! Burp away! It's nothing. You finish eating. I'm going to take a quick walk. I stalked off before he could answer. I approached the riverside, crouched down and splashed my face with water, rubbing my forehead and cheeks. Then I inhaled deeply and ruffled my hair, careful to not snag on my braid. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. The knight was supposed to be courteous, generous, kind, just honourable and help those in need. Well, that wasn't an option. It was glare at him or tease him. Teasing seemed the kinder of the two. And we've helped him. And here I was, struggling to maintain a calm demeanour. There was something about Kerr's attitude that always got me worked up. And he'd known him a day. Well, that and him showing some gratitude would be nice. Was it wrong for me to seek it in the first place? Technically, if you're being selfless, you shouldn't be doing things for gratitude. I still have a long way to go before I'm more like Mum. How does she do it? I grabbed a flat polished rock and stood up, throwing and catching it a few times while I pondered about what to do next. First things first, Kerr will return to Bury with me. We'll need to stock up on supplies and figure out where the next altar is. I tossed up the rock and caught it again. Does he expect me to travel with him the whole time? Or until Oliver? I wonder if I'm mentally prepared for this. Gripping the stone, I threw it into the water at an angle. I skipped a few times before disappearing completely. I bit my lip, not pleased with my 3-hop achievement. I could probably get 7 rebounds on a good day. I should go back. I wonder if Kerr already got impatient and left. Just as I turned to leave, I heard a loud splash and immediately whirled around, unsheathing my sword. I angled the blade upward and widened my stance. Whoa! That is a pretty dragon! Very impractical hands. Probably very practical for swimming, but less for actual handage. Bursting from the water was a large, serpent-like dragon with a translucent ridge down its back. It flapped its wing-like fins, head extending beyond the shore. I grit my teeth, searching for a weak point, but I kept my distance. Tightening my grasp on my sword, I looked at the dragon directly in the eye. It recoiled when it saw my weapon, withdrawing its head but made no further movements. It didn't appear to be hostile. Slowly sheathed my sword, but kept a firm grip on its hilt. A mist formed around the dragon, and I stepped back, unsure of whether to retreat or wait. It seemed to vanish as the mist overtook it, and I squinted. Moments later, I spotted a rather hazy figure.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I blinked as a little heavenkind person appeared before me. He had similar ears as the water dragon, so I could safely assume they were one and the same. He also had brilliant teal-coloured hair, which I had never seen before, which is gorgeous. He fidgeted with his hands and gave me an apologetic look.
Are you okay?
I didn't mean to, frighten you. His wide eyes disarmed me completely, and I could only wave my hands frantically to reassure him.
Oh, sorry about that.
No, it's fine. I didn't mean to threaten you with my sword. It's just sort of instinctive, and... It's understandable. You didn't know what my intentions were, and I probably looked intimidating. We both stopped and exchanged an awkward smile. At first it was a giggle, but I soon started laughing, then rubbed the back of my head sheepishly. He joined in with his own gentle chuckle, and any tension we felt from our rather intense encounter dissolved instantly. So what are you here for? I'm looking for someone. He should be around here, and he would have unique ears like mine, and, You mean Kerr? Are you Kerr's master? His eyes widened. Me? No. I'm actually a pupil for someone else, but I know his master well. He raised his arms and glanced at the sleeves, tugging on them before inspecting the rest of his clothes. It was then I could see his long hair tumble over his shoulders, complete with a flowing purple ribbon. You look fine. Oh, you even transformed with a braid already in place. That's cute. He grinned cheerfully, seeming pleased with himself.
Thank you.
Heaven girl, there you are. I have a name. Hare approached us petulantly and gave the new boy a supercilious glare. The boy balked slightly and glanced shyly away.
The hell?
I heard a large splash and came to check. Who are you? I'm Elmari. We met a few times. Claire glanced at him so intently that Elmari squirmed uneasily. No, don't know ya. And how did you find me anyway, Elmara?
Well...
I overheard our masters talking, and Master Bedros mentioned you, so I... Kerr groaned loudly. Let me guess, they sent you? Sure, sent. They sent me to supervise your assignment.
I'll go!
So please take me with you. Kerr and I exchanged glances. Look, Ellie. Ilmari. Whatever.
I don't need your
This isn't
help.
exactly something I want to do, nor do I want more company to slow me down, unless you can fly. Ilmari's face fell. And can instantly take me to the next altar. I'm not interested. Go back and tell our masters I can handle this myself. But... He totally didn't get permission. He just wants a quest. Possibly. I sighed and stepped in, raising a hand to touch Kerr's shoulder. You don't need to. Kerr flinched from the physical contact, and I mentally kicked myself for forgetting already. Right, no touchy. No touchy! He's like the llama. Anyway, I think El Mali will provide useful. He did say the masters wanted this, right? They placed their trust in him for a reason. El Mari shifted his eyes and glanced at the ground. Right.
I promise.
I promise I won't be a burden. And if I am, well, I can go back. Kerr grumbled and merely walked downstream, waving dismissively.
I don't care.
Do what you want. Just promise you won't lecture me or do any of that nonsense. I already get it enough. Promise. Ooh, it's charged me thingy. 2 seconds, I'm just going to go plug my Fitbit in while I remember. Otherwise, it'll end up being dead in the morning, and that's no use. Then I want to go for a walk, and I'll end up forgetting it. And then it doesn't count as exercise if I don't record it. You see, if I were cleverer, I would use like channel points to do like request a voice. But every time someone tries to request a voice, I default back to Scottish. So that wouldn't work. I mean, if anyone has any ideas for what I could do with channel points, so people can spend them. Because otherwise people are just sort of letting them accumulate. I mean, I could increase what's needed for stuff, but it just feels mean. Yep, that's basically it. I'll cash. I mean, I am taking game suggestions. They are queued up. Just haven't reached the right point. So I want to enjoy the games that people have suggested. And when I'm feeling very meh about gaming, Yeah, I was like, I want to, you know, enjoy the games that people have suggested, so that, you know, it's a good stream. Because, you know, if I don't enjoy it, then it's a bit like, well, what's the point in streaming it? So, you know, while I'm feeling tired and very meh about gaming, you know, sort of doing some of the PC games that I've been accumulating now that I've got the controller sorted out. But then I really just need to say, come pick up my TV. Let's just get it fixed, and then, you know, hopefully at least the replacement TV would be okay. And if I don't get a replacement, well, I could probably figure something out by trying to, like, play through the stream window. We'll see. I mean, cross that bridge when it comes to it, but the fact that it kept on disconnecting and flicking my game back to the desktop when I was trying to set up the stream is just worrying, because I've done that before, not on that HDMI cable. But it's one of those things. I need to get it sorted, but, you know, with the pandemic, it just makes it 3 times as hard. But now things are opening up a bit more. Maybe they'll be okay for picking things up. Maybe if I say, look, I isolated for a year, you know, you don't have to quarantine it. I don't know. I don't know. It's just, yeah. We'll figure something out. You know, if we have to take a break, we take a break. And at least with the capture card, I could technically play Xbox games on my PC. But anyway, maybe, I don't know. You know, a whole bunch of people have like different types of things on channel points, and then I just don't know what to do. So I mean, I did try having the coloured light. With the green screen, it doesn't work. So I mainly use it just to sort of change the temperature of the light to balance off so that my skin doesn't go translucent. Okay, well, I mean, yes, we have the hydrate and the stretch. That's fine. And Wibby's scruff. But I just feel like I could come up with something a lot more creative if I could be creative, and if I wasn't, you know, feeling so tired. And if every time I sat down to stream, upstairs neighbours didn't sound like they were in the next room. Yeah, I was just wondering what to do with them, Scruff. Because everyone has lots, and I don't have many interesting options. And I was wondering what I could add, you know, to make it a bit more interesting so people can spend them and don't feel obligated to request stuff that then I, you know, spend ages getting around to streaming. But it's not like I have like lights you can change or a hat I can put on or music. And I was saying that if I tried to pick a voice, that it would just be Scottish or some variation on it. I'm not clever enough to do like custom entrances and things that people could request. I got the command one, but no one's taking advantage of that. So yeah, so I don't know. So people are just going to pile up points. I imagine, you know, like regular viewers have several 100,000. Yeah. So yeah. Maybe at some point I'll get the cool boost thing, and then you'll be able to use your channel points to boost me. But I haven't had that yet. Or predictions. I could set up a prediction, but then it's like, What do we predict? I don't know. I like streaming, but it is still very much sort of a hobby niche thing. You know. Oh, custom entrance. Okay. I don't know if I can get... Would that be like something that fired when people came in and said hi? You see, I just don't like random sounds because I'm really sensitive to sounds, hence the... not going to mention them again. And because I don't use like stream elements or whatever, you know, I don't have everything set up to do fancy stuff. I mean, sometimes people have ones to like nominate a raid. But I mean, if I can figure out how to do like a... Well, I mean, it doesn't have to be Nightbot. It could be in Rainmaker. Because I have technically 2 bots. And also technically I have 3 bots because I have ScottyBot, even though I've not set up ScottyBot. Because they brought it back. But it's still in dev, so... I mean... Let me have a quick look to see if Nightbot has anything like that. Whoop. Whoop. And Sammy's online. Okay, so I've got custom commands. Add command. Command user level cooldown. No. Regulars. Migration. No. I mean, yeah, I could set up a custom command for someone, but I don't have... Yeah, that doesn't seem to have anything there. Let's see if Rainmaker has something. Mind you, at least I know the devs on this, so I could ask if that was possible to do. Chatbot. Yes. Oh, stop spoiling achievements just because I'm not paying attention. New commands. Message, point cost. Nah, I don't know how to do that. I mean, if it's a... How do I get out of that? Stuck in the command interface. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how you do it. Whether it's another bot. Scruff. I mean, you don't have to. I could, I don't have to. Oh, yours is just a regular command. Fair enough. Yeah, Dopey's got something set up where it's a response to someone coming in and saying something. But I'm wondering if that is the one that used to be Mix It Up that probably got renamed. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think I can do something with overlays and stuff if I wanted to. But yeah, sorry, no, I'm just trying to sort out something for tomorrow. I'm trying not to stress about stuff. Not stressing, all sorted. So that's one less anxiety to worry about. Okay, I feel a bit better about that. Yeah, I didn't really like Streamlabs. Mainly because it wouldn't let me have Angel SK. Because I guess... I don't know why. But anyway. I think I have it set up, but I just haven't added it to the channel because I had too many bots in here. And they started all answering for the same thing. So I like Nightbot for my commands. And Rainmaker handles my alerts and my quotes. And that works for me. I wish I could get ScottyBot back. I do like ScottyBot, but for now, it's good. But yeah, I'm doing the whole distracted thing again. I figure we should at least figure out what's going on with this journey. I might play some more of this. It seems cute. I know I said that with the mask one and I didn't, but I took the week off and it didn't really feel right. But anyway, sorry, I've stopped doing admin, but I've made myself less anxious about a thing, so I feel like that was a good use of time. But yes, let's do a little bit more story and then hopefully Scrap will be ready, we'll raid, and I can stop stressing and just go, well, I say go to bed, but I will watch some Jade Cocoon because it's funny and starts talking about balls and rude things. Or things that aren't rude, but we make them rude because we do that, we lower the tone. But yes, but no one has to do any research for me. I'm capable of doing it myself. I don't want to cause anyone any extra hassle. I just mostly just can't figure out pop-up pictures and GIFs and sounds all over the place. It sort of stresses me out a little bit, but I do want to do something nice, so I guess maybe if people want to come up with a custom shout-out command, I'm happy to add them in. You know, if you've got something that you'd like to have instead of just the standard shout-out, then yeah, 100% I'm up for adding that. I'm not massively creative myself, so I'm not good at coming up with things. But yeah, if people want a cool shout-out command, then yeah, hit me up. There is an actual points thing for that, so you may as well just use that, and then it's all recorded, and I can make sure I put it in right. But yeah. I think I might just get really drunk and sing karaoke this weekend, and then maybe that'll drown out the idiots upstairs. I could get lips out and maybe finally finish that out. Or I could try doing Fruit Ninja. I think that might end up with me throwing up everywhere, so probably not a good idea, but yeah. I am going to definitely watch The Greatest Showman and sing very loudly. Yes, Jessie's lurk command is genius. My lurk is sort of kind of pithy. Yeah, if anyone has any ideas for like spicing up commands or any cool things, you know, then, you know, feel free to share, but I'm not expecting free labor, so, you know, happy to, you know, compensate for stuffs. It works for me. Okay, fair enough. That's because I'm pithy. But yeah, I just need to get out. I think maybe for the Saturday's walk, because the reason I was weird on Tuesday and you were asking about the stream, Jessie, is because Saturday at 3 p.m. is when Leaky and I do our socially distanced walk thing. So when it says like Saturday at 3 p.m, I was like, well, but I have plans then. And then it just came out really, really weird. But maybe I'll go for a nice long walk this time. Just try and clear the brain cells. Clear the brain cells. But yeah, no. One stress is dealt with for the weekend that I was worried about. The other stress is work related, and I can't do anything about it until we go back. And it's not really anything to stress about. Yeah, I mean, if one of you lives on your own, then you can bubble. Do a support bubble, that's allowed. As long as you don't bubble with anyone else. But I guess because you work in retail, probably not. Yeah. You can meet outside. I mean, this weekend it's either going to be really, really sunny or it's going to snow. Because that's what happens at Easter. I'm sort of hoping for something in between. Like, snow would be cool, though very weird. Sun would be good. Because it's not going to be like a summer sun, because summer sun makes me itch. Yeah. You could do with like a covered bit that's sort of outside, and then you could set up a TV and a console. Hi, Leaky! But yeah. I mean, technically there's nothing stopping you, the two of you. It's just obviously you are being safe. Which is admirable, considering the pictures I've seen of parks being absolutely crowded. I'm just hoping people don't go overboard this weekend. Okay, I will get back with the story in a minute. But yeah. Well, yes, but you'll get that money back. You know, the tax office isn't going to keep it. And it's very unlikely that you would be fined 2 people hanging out. It's generally the sort of parties that are taking the piss are the ones that get the fines. But yeah, no, Leaky here is looking at the forecast going, yeah, it's either going to be massively sunny this weekend or it's going to snow. Then I looked at the forecast and went, what the hell? It's actually going to snow? And I was like, well, I mean, it is Easter. It has been known to snow at Easter. I have pictures of it snowing at Easter. I doubt very much whether it's going to snow in London at Easter. It might snow at yours. You can send me pictures. I can be jealous. I also really, really like the music on this scene, and I just sort of got flute piping, and I'm like, this is just basically me talking to my friends. I should just, hang out in a voice party instead of randomly talking over chat. Okay, but realistically, it's 10 o'clock now. I know you usually, go live at 11, Scruff. But realistically, when would you think you would go live? And how much longer should I read the story for? Because I like doing the raid. I mean, yes, but this is supposed to be Autumn's journey, and Joe's story time, not Joe just chats about random stuff. End of May. Cool. Yeah, well, I mean, it's all supposed to be done by June 21st. So, yeah. I mean, if you're still going to be an hour, I can probably draw it out an hour, though I might need to have a tea break. 1:15. Okay. Well, we could split the difference and do 1/2 and I do a half an hour story. And that'll give you extra time. Yeah. Okay. It's a deal. We'll shake on it. Right. I'm going to read some story. But I do love hanging out with you lovely people because, you know what? It's perked me up. I was feeling very weird and tender at the beginning of the stream. Very weird and tender. And anxious and stuff. And it's just really nice hanging out with friends. And this is why I stream, even if it's an effort sometimes to get started. I do enjoy it once it's on. So, love you all. Thank you. It's the lag. It's like, just on the same wavelength, Scrap. On the same wavelength. Aww, that's Doz's little bear. Yes, it's not Among Us this week. Good, because, yeah, I think I need a break from Among Us. I might chance streaming it next week, if I can get sorted. Oh, connected brain cell. Yes, we have just one brain cell shared between that would explain so many things. Oh dear, right. Okay. Story time. And then 1:30. Scruff is going live. So let's see where we get with the story. So Amari's smile was so bright that I couldn't help but grin as well. I turned to him and offered a hand, and he tilted his head quizzically. Looks like we'll be travelling companions, at least for a while. Oops. This is an offer to shake hands. It's a greeting between heavenkind. Ilmari extended his hand, and I gave it a firm shake. Pleased to meet you. I'm Arlen. Pleased to meet you too.
Thank you.
And thank you for convincing Kerr. Thank you? Pardon?
Thanks!
You have no idea how long I've been waiting to hear those words. I have a feeling you and I will get along swimmingly. Swimmingly? He glanced back at the river and then chuckled. Is this heavenkind humour? Something like that, but it usually elicits more groans than laughter. Oh my gosh, what is that? Oh, that's okay. I thought it was some kind of squid cat, like Leaky's 5-legged thing. Which I need to save. Because I want to add it as an emote in my channel. Yeah, it's just the position, and I know you're a big fan of octopuses and squids. It just sort of looks like it's a squid cat, but I realise it's reclining cat. It does not have a ginormous head. Also, the fact that Jeeps has a kitty. That is, yes. Jeeps and kitty. Kitties are good. I like kitties. Purple has a kitty. That was really cute in that channel. Yes. Squids. Jeeps needs to send pictures of cats. I would request. But yes. Anyway, something like that, but it usually elicits more groans than laughter. Come on, we should probably get going before Kerr decides to ditch both of us. I don't have any more food to lure him back. Let me see it hot. About food and Heavenkind needs, I researched a bit, but I'm not completely familiar. Don't worry, my dad makes food for a living, so you'll learn a lot about it. He nodded happily. With that, we quickened our pace before Kerr could yell at us to hurry. I wonder how they'll react to entering a Heavenkind town. We finished another chapter! Oh my gosh. We're just like careening through these. Chapter 3, Berry. We arrived late afternoon. Berry was a small farming community nestled by the riverbank, perfectly situated between larger cities. It had at least 3 dozen houses, many with their own farmland and sprawling orchards beyond the river. Of course, it also had an inn for travellers, which was becoming more popular thanks to the improved roads.
Wow.
Elmari seemed thrilled, gasping over every little thing, while his eyes excitedly darted from one house to the next. Oh, I want to see him in chibi form. Also, lurk away, Mr. Coolness. It's good to have you here. Yeah, I want Chibi Elmari because he just, look at the little star eyes. Kerr simply rolled his eyes and remained withdrawn as we walked over to my family's house. I admit I was concerned. Their ears weren't exactly natural, and Elmari's hair colour was striking, even from a distance. There were a few people who passed and gave curious glances, but they relaxed when they saw that I was accompanying the boys. You knew everyone in Barry, especially if you lived here for most of your life. When we reached my house, I motioned over to Elmari and Kerr. Can you two wait here for a bit? I need to talk to my parents first, and I can't just invite strangers in. Is it some kind of Heavenkind formality? Yes, formality, something like that. That's why it's important that you two don't wander off.
Of course.
Right. I mean it. I opened the door and closed it behind me, stepping into the cozy room. Mum? Dad? I hope they didn't leave to search for me. That would be partially my fault. Aura? Mum! I was embraced in a tight hug. My mother worryingly checked my face before stepping back. Where were you? Your dad got all anxious and I kept telling him you would be alright, but when night came... I'm fine. The reason why my scouting took so long is because I bumped into 2 travellers. She pursed her lips and tapped her chin. They're not amnesiac. No? Any mystical-looking pendants on them? They have some simple jewellery, but no pendants. Dark and mysterious pasts?
Sure.
I'm pretty sure not. One is a spoilt brat and the other seems like he would be the youngest of a dozen siblings. She sighed in relief. Good, I've had too many troublesome experiences with people like that. Led them into a village and the next instance is on fire. That's my girl.
Right.
Always thinking of everything. Where's Dad? I'm starving. She laughed at my carefree comments. He should be back soon. She leaned to one side, looking past me. You can let your friends in if you like. I turned to see Elmari gingerly tapping the glass, then putting his hands all over it in bafflement. He looked like a performing mime.
Wow.
What is this brilliant substance? You can see beyond it, but it's a barrier. Stream titles are hard. Thanks for the host subterfuge. Well, I mean, I didn't catch much of Jade Cocoon 2, but I mean, some kind of ball joke? Maybe? Possibly something, you know. I don't know, kind of double entendre type situation. Or just plain filthy, you know. Could be that. Depends. You have to be careful, otherwise Twitch goes, ooh, this might contravene our somethings. And I'm like, I put piss off. As in, we wanted to piss off Gideon last night, but I thought that was rude, so never mind. What is this brilliant substance? You can see beyond it, but it's a barrier. Not from around here? You could say that. Once we sat down at the table, Kerr was content leaning against the wall, being sullen. I quickly explained the situation. I left out the punishment since I had a feeling Kerr would get embarrassed. I think you'll be fine with balls, honestly. You know. That one's fairly standard word. And also, thank you for being a good mod, Scruff. Remembering the shout-outs. I have all my commands, I just always forget to hit the button. Oh no! I really hate it when the game's not in the database. I mean, especially when, like, Metal Gear 1 you'd think would be. But that's cool. How is it held up to time? Because obviously we're on 5 now, so... Is it old and clunky, or did the port, like, remaster it a little? Because I'm wondering how Mass Effect's going to play with the remaster. Because I really like the clunkiness of Mass Effect 1. I mean, I honestly have not played any Metal Gear Solids. I like the idea. Oh. Right, yeah, because Solid is Solid Snake. I mean, I read a lot of the history because it's intriguing. And also there was the whole, like, what's her name? Silence, Whisper, Quiet. Okay, well fine. If it's from the 80s, that's possibly why it's not in the database. I don't know what powers the Twitch database. Because on Mixer, I'd add it to, like, player.me. And then it would hopefully appear. But, yeah. I'm not quite sure what powers the Twitch database for game suggestions. Because sometimes, most of the new games are on. A lot more than were on Mixer. Most games that I try and promo are on. There's only the occasional very niche indie that isn't. But yeah, I was really cool playing retro games. But yeah, it can get annoying if they're a bit clunky. Because it can detract a little bit. I guess it's hopefully you get the right balance between retro and clunky. Yeah. I mean, fair enough. I mean, it's just a database. There's no reason why it can't have all of the games. Ah. Yeah, it didn't have... It was really weird. It didn't have Vera Blanc Full Moon. But it had the second one. But yeah. Oh, it's on GOG! Ah, you see, GOG is good. I have a whole bunch of games on GOG. That's where I got my Theme Hospital. I bought that. It was the first one I bought on GOG because I was like, this is my jam. This is my raison d'etre, my love of computer games came from Theme Hospital. Well, that and Day of the Tentacle. Yeah. I should, I keep on waiting. Every time Myst and Riven go on sale, I'm like, should I? And I think next time it does, I will, because I never finished Riven. I never played Mist. I really feel like they'd be quite good for a sort of working out as a team type thing. Oh, right. Steam isn't a guarantee that it'll work. Interesting. Yeah. Nostalgia's great, isn't it? I mean, I've still got a bunch of games that I own on discs that I can't play on anything. I still have my original Riven discs. I found them the other day because I was like, I'm sure I kept them because I keep everything. I am such a pack rat. It's ridiculous. But you know, one of these days it'll be like, yes, well, I can, you know, justify whatever because I have the disc. But no. Yeah, I know, it's super tough, and when I played Riven, it was like days before the internet, and I got just really stuck on a sound puzzle, because sound puzzles, they just go, I just miss them. Either that, or I got stuck by the gate that you can't actually open. I don't know. But anyway, I never finished it. And I really would like to go back to that sort of thing, because, you know, I'm not really good at puzzle games. I'm really good at streaming puzzle games. I'm not so good at playing them. But I really like that sort of puzzly game or story game, point and click. That's my jam. I mean, I'm not adverse to the occasional platformer, but it depends on, you know, the level of frustration I'm going to get with it. But anyway, let's carry on with a little bit with the story. But it's lovely to have you here, Subterfuge. And I will endeavour to catch your next stream. I've been massively busy this week with meetings and like barely had any energy. I've missed pretty much everyone's streams, which annoys me because I really like, you know, coming and watching streams because people come and watch mine. But yes, anyway, I left out the punishment since I had a feeling Kerr would get embarrassed. Here in the first place, they'll be observing our customs and looking at some of the altars we built. That sounds wonderful. I know there's been more interaction between both races lately, but I'm out of the loop now. Mum used to be the captain of the guards. Awesome. Mum used to be the captain of the guard for the city of Oliver, but had long since retired. She kept performing various protection services for travellers and merchants, patrolling Bury and even teaching sword fighting. We were hoping to leave first thing in the morning. I remember Roller Coaster Tycoon. I was bad at that one. And SimCity. That's why I liked Theme Hospital. It was more my jam. Roller Coaster Tycoon and SimCity had way too many options. Well, I mean, we had a PC. It was mostly for schoolwork stuff. But we had an Acorn 3000 first. Because obviously I am much older than you, Oscar. So didn't have consoles. I had a Game Boy at some point when I was a teenager. But yeah, so we got a PC mainly sort of because we started needing it for schoolwork. So I played a few games on PC. But my first console was a GameCube, which I got 4th year uni? 3rd year uni? ...2003 or something anyway. And then I got a Wii. And then I got addicted to Xbox in 2010. Yeah. So, you know. But no, I did not grow up with gaming. Oh, the bongos. That was a fun game, but I have terrible coordination, so yeah. 3D Monster Maze. Is that something you still own, Leaky? Because I feel that would be quite a cool retro Halloween stream or something. It'd be like 4K leaky face and, you know, pixel monster mix. I mean, I'm still trying to identify a game that I played back on the Acorn, which must have been on the Amiga as well, because they were the same architecture. And it was basically kind of like a fantasy adventure game, but with maths. So every crossroads you hit, you get a maths puzzle. And it was like a fantasy setting. And then if you got that right, you'd go on and then you'd pick a next choice and then you get another puzzle. I never finished it because I always try to guess them and I'd fail and then I'd lose and have to start again. But for the life of me, I cannot find this game. I know it existed, but there's no way we have the disc for it. We would have gotten rid of it when we got rid of the Acorn. But I can't remember what it was called and I can't find it anywhere on the internet. And that was basically my first ever computer game. We were talking about old games when I went home a couple of Christmases ago, and we managed to identify like this weird ass puzzle game that me and my brother used to play. And there was also one with like weird laundry game, but yeah, they were basically Amiga games that was also on the I mean, it could be Adventures in Maths. It wasn't walking around a castle, it was definitely like some outside. Like, you know, you'd go left and get to the forest, and then you'd have like a puzzle with dwarves. There was one with an ogre, and you know, we're talking 30 years ago ish. So but trying to Google it, I never found. But yeah, it was I don't think I ever got to the castle because I would fail the maths puzzles. I just got too impatient and never actually tried to solve them. But yeah, and then there were a couple of like little platformy games and little puzzle games that me and my brother played that we managed to find. I think we ended up looking them up and finding what they were. Did it start in an amusement park? I don't know. This was very much a fantasy, like the point was to rescue the princess or something. And there was definitely a forest and some paths and like ogres and dwarves. I don't remember enough of it really. I also had Fleet Street News or something like that. Fleet Street Phantom, which was basically like fill-in newspaper articles, which was hilarious. And then there was I actually downloaded The Secret Island of Dr. Quandary. It definitely wasn't called that. 100% definitely wasn't that, sorry. I would remember that name. Okay, so we also had The Mad Professor Moriarty, which I loved and was terrible at. And I tried to get Amiga ROMs to try and play stuff, and I could never get them to work. But yeah, me and my brother spent ages trying to find these old games that we used to play, but they don't have them anymore. That's the thing, you know, because it didn't have the internet. You know, things didn't get archived, and you know, there weren't like weren't playthroughs and stuff. But yeah, nostalgia. That puzzly game though, it's on like a compilation disc. Really wish I could play that again. We had like whole maps and everything. It was like a puzzle adventure where you had to sort of figure out the map and I don't even remember what the point of the game was, but it was very cool, and I can picture it in my head. But I can't find this maths game. And any combination of googling maths and fantasy and adventure and whatever. Yeah, I mean, maps are fun. I like writing down puzzle solutions and that sort of thing, but I tend to get a little impatient with games and try and like just not so much brute force, but get through without solving things thoroughly. But anyway, I mean, it's possible subterfuge. I have spent many, many days over the past sort of like 10 years trying to find the games. It's, you know, it's unfortunate, but these things do happen. But yeah, it was fun. You know, they were fun. It's just obviously we never kept the discs, and you know, we donated them. We donated the computer to school. Never kept the discs, so you know, because I never actually, you know, wrote anything down or took pictures of things, or you know, we didn't keep our scribbled maps. It's not something we really remembered. But it was fun. It was something me and brother did together, which was nice. But anyway, all right, let's get to the point where we're leaving on our journey, and then it'll be perfect to hand over to Scruff. So yeah, woo, hang on, I've accidentally put it on auto. Get off auto. There we go. All right, we were hoping to leave first thing in the morning and walk the whole way. I glanced at Kara and Elmari.
Well...
I could always swim, but it's been harder to navigate in this river recently. A lot of heaven-kind activity. None of us fly. I guess we could always hire a coachman. Actually, there's a small group of merchants heading for Oliver, and they won't leave until tomorrow afternoon. I had initially offered my services, but if you think you can handle it... You mean it? I can arrange it right now. Up for the challenge? It'll be your first real job outside Berry without me. Oh, nice! Oh, I love it when that happens, Leaky. Love it when that happens. I do that with books. Or TV shows. Or like, well, not necessarily old TV shows, but things that I think might have been a book that I read. And it's always interesting when I can actually find it. I rebought a whole bunch of like used books from what I remembered in my childhood, because of that. Real nostalgia in books, I think. But yeah, computer games as well. Maybe I'll stick some stuff in a channel on my Discord, and we can share old games and see if we can track down my mysterious fantasy adventure maths game. Crowdsourcing, you know. If anyone has any good places to... I'm sure there's plenty of places on the internet that like tracking down games like that. And then maybe I can find the other games I used to play on the Acorn. Maybe you can find a working emulator and get the ROMs and stuff, because that would be fun. I've gotten all nostalgic now. I mean, I've got Theme Hospital on GOG. I could totally roll that one out. But anyway, let's get ready to go on our trip. And then we'll hand over to Scruff, who will be streaming about balls. Sorry, Jay Cocoon 2. But at least I am going to bed feeling a lot less nervous and anxious. Well, not nervous, stressed and anxious, but yeah. Oh, I'm just going to get distracted again. BBC, we had a BBC machine at our school, and we had the Through the Dragon's Eye. God knows if anyone remembers that weird, obscure UK TV show, and Geordie Racer, but we had them as BBC computer games. They were, like, basically the first, like, visual novel type situations. Brilliant. Alright, start up a channel in the Discord, and we'll share and see if we can find these games and see if we can find them to play. Right, cool. I'm just gonna sort of set the end of this story, and then I will raid you, Ross. I will see you in there. So, yeah. Of course, I'll protect them to the best of my ability. She laughed at my enthusiasm and excused herself, letting the males know that they were welcome to stay overnight. I grinned and pumped a fist in the air.
I'm going to be a real knight!
I'll have to look it up, because Through the Dragon's Eye got really dark. I think I did Geordie Racer as well. I was like, these shows are like kids at school. But yes, I feel like this is my first step into real knighthood. A knighthood? Well, more like a mercenary. You get hired to protect people and make sure they arrive at their destination safely. That's a good thing. That way we can get to Oliver and earn a little money. However, if I could ask my mum something later, then I'd really be a knight. I could have left for Oliver at any time, but I needed something important first. I was probably grinning like an idiot, but I didn't care. When I heard the door open, I knew it was my dad, and immediately jumped up. Mum was likely on her late patrols again and probably wouldn't be back for a while. You two are probably hungry. Is there anything you'd like to eat?
Thank you.
Well, I'm open to anything. I've never tried heaven-kind food before. We'll try our best to make you something you'd like. Omari, Kerr? He was pondering at first and then reluctantly looked up. Yes?
Look,
Those, the one that had the apple slices on it?
Right.
Oh, apple tarts, of course. Pastries are pretty much my dad's speciality. He'll make some for you. The smallest of smiles appeared on Kerr's face, but it quickly vanished. At least there was something heavenkind related that he enjoyed. Our meal was pleasant, and I was surprised that my dad even got Kerr to say more than a few lines. My dad always had a way of winning people over through his cooking. Ilmari found our eating traditions extremely complicated, what with all the dishes and utensils used, but kept getting drawn to the windows again. If I ever let him loose in a stained glass church, I snorted behind my cup thinking about it. When Mum returned, I pulled her away from the group for a private chat. Is it all arranged? So I'll be able to guard the carriage tomorrow? Yes. Then, since I'm going to Oliver anyway, can you write a letter recommending me for knighthood? In Oliver there was a special guild for knights. People trained by revered knights could be endorsed to serve under the Sun and Moon Council. If I were going to Oliver now, this would be the perfect opportunity to join them. With my mum's name, they will not refuse me. If anything, they'd usher me in with open arms. My mum sighed and rubbed her forehead, already tired of the persistent conversation. Honestly, Aura, I don't think you are ready and mature enough to... I'm ready! Not only that, I could help the dragonkind better. Please? Puppy dog eyes? She chuckled weakly, but I could tell she was still firm in her decision. I'll think about it. For now, you can assist Kerr and Ilmari just fine without the rank. I gave her a petulant look, but gave it. All right, I'm glad you're at least considering it. Thanks, Mum. I returned to the others who were finishing up their meal. As I gathered the dishes, Dad glanced towards the stairs. Will you be spending the night here? You've already done so much for us. We also prefer more spacious places, so we'll be fine outside. You sure? Jesse is living in these things? Not really. We still have some time before it gets dark. I can show you around the town if you'd like. Mari brightened immediately while Kerr sighed.
I'll go!
He said it for me.
I don't care.
Oh,
Weren't you ordered to learn more about Heavenkind?
Annoying.
Yeah, I can simply summarize it for me. I'm all about finding the altars, which are locations you visit after you learn.
Let's do this.
Let sleeping dragons lie, Ilmari. We can have fun without crabapple sulking along. I grabbed Ilmari's hand and led him outside, deciding to show off the orchards the town specialised in. As we walked down the road, we passed a farmhouse where 4 children were running around playing tag. When one spotted us, he waved, and the other 3 eagerly scampered towards us. Come play! Another time chase. The younger sibling crept forward and gazed up at Ilmari curiously. You is a funny. Is that a bad thing? Not at all. They're really cute, don't you think, Heather? She giggled. They look like butterflies. Children prodded at Ilmari and ran round until their mother called them back. Although I did not expect that, Ilmari seemed to have enjoyed himself. How sweet. They're all siblings, so they play together a lot. He blinked blankly before gasping.
wow.
Siblings? They're all related? Yeah, it's not uncommon to have large families here, although I'm an only child myself. What about you? I guessed you were like the youngest of a dozen? He gave a sheepish chuckle. No, I'm an only child too. It's extremely rare for dragonkind to have siblings. I don't think I've met one that had more than 2. He tilted his head, then glanced at me hesitantly as if pondering something.
I have a question.
Then for mating season, is it? Alarm bells went off in my head and I made a giant cross with my arms to dissuade him. Okay, no, banned. I'm banning the subject. As if I could accurately answer these types of questions anyway. If you don't ask, I won't ask how it works between
I'm
dragons.
sorry.
Oh, right. I agree. He appeared so awkward that I couldn't help but laugh, and soon we were chuckling over our quick diversion.
Right.
Alright, let's keep going. I can show you around one of the farms. Okay. One of the barns was open. It actually belonged to an old friend of my family. I casually strolled in, pointing to various equipment. Ilmari gestured to a device in the
I
corner.
have a question.
What does that do? Oh, it's a churn. You use it to churn milk or cream into butter.
What?
Cream? Butter? Here, I'll demonstrate. Pretending, of course. I approached the cylindrical wooden tube and touched the stave. Basically, you plunge this up and down, and it'll shake the liquid and eventually turn it into a solid. Milk and cream and butter are all types of food. As I explained, the house owner entered carrying 2 buckets filled to the brim with something. Hi, Bryony. I saw you showing your friends around. I thought you'd like to demonstrate the real thing. With a wry smile, she set the buckets down, and I stared at them expressionlessly. No, it's been great chatting you with Subterfuge. Thank you for stopping by. I'll be ending soon anyway, so it's good timing. But I really appreciate the company. I wasn't planning on staying.
Wow.
I want to see it. Between Amari's persistence and my inability to decline a request from my mum's friend, I gave in. All right, I'll show you, Amari. Then afterwards you can show him how to milk cows?
Let's do this.
Fine, I'll do it all. I wasn't sure how, but I got roped into chores while showing Amari around. His questions were endless and he seemed to enjoy every minute of it. Whenever I offered for him to take over, he'd shake his head and say that he'd probably mess up. I had the feeling he was just saying that. At least he loved the apple orchard when I was finally able to guide him there. It was late in the evening when we returned and I was rolling my aching shoulder. Even my calluses have calluses. I haven't done farm stuff in years. I'm surprised I remembered it all. Well, I've been more focused on my sword training and patrolling duties of late. But did you have fun, Omari? He grinned brightly like a child who had just left a sweet shop with a pocket full of cookies.
That is so amazing.
I did. I thought it was really interesting. I don't know if I'd call it interesting, but I guess I've been here so long that it's all routine to me. If I was a knight, I could do more things. Nothing, only thinking out loud. You sure have a lot of questions regarding Heavenkind.
I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry about that. I naturally love learning about new things. In return, if you have any questions about Dragonkind, I'd be happy to answer. He stopped and shyly fidgeted with his hands, and I could tell he was anticipating an inquiry. We do not touch people. It's inappropriate. Ask how he knows your language. You speak our tongue bloody fluently. Did you learn it? Yes. From what I know, Keir was pretty much forced to while I learned on my own. What about your own? What is it like? We communicate audibly, of course, but we also use telepathy. What's that exactly? It's sort of like projecting one's thoughts to another person. Of course, you need to wish for the person to pick up those thoughts. Dragonkind don't normally live in close proximity to another, so it's useful to us. That sounds pretty neat. What are you thinking right now? If you could project it to me.
Thank you.
About how much fun I had. Thank you so much for showing me around, Barry. It was no problem. Anyway, I muffled a yawn. I should get to bed now. We have a busy day ahead of us.
Thank you.
Night, Aurelie. Thank you so much for everything. It's fine, I had fun too, even if I got dragged halfway across Barry to do odd chores. Once I opened the door to my house, I spotted my mum sitting at the table, holding a quill over some blank parchment. I covered my mouth to muffle a squeal. You're writing the letter! I bounced on my heels and launched into a tackle as I hugged my mum from behind. I peered over her shoulders.
I'm going to be a real knight!
Do it! You're actually gonna do it! I'm gonna be a knight! I halted and let go, suddenly confused. Wait. Did you change your mind? My mum laughed and leaned back, flashing me a meaningful smile. Well, I did some thinking and thought maybe you were right. You are ready. That's what I've been telling you. My smile was so wide it hurt.
Thanks.
Thanks, Mum. Love you and good night. I look forward to reading it in the morning. I dashed upstairs, determined to fall asleep. However, I couldn't help but toss and turn as I replayed the day's events. And not only on Mari's questions, but that I was going to become a knight once I arrived in Oliver. The task to protect the carriage could be viewed as my first duty as a knight. My first real mission. I certainly couldn't sleep now. I hugged my pillow and rolled around, unable to stop my giddiness.
I'm going to be a real knight!
Do professional knights normally act like this? I don't care, I'm so happy! To achieve the title of knight, one usually had to be trained at a famous school or academy and graduate from there. Since I didn't live in a big city that had such establishments, I trained solely under my mum instead, and her status and achievements were well known. Which was why I needed that letter badly. If she recommended me, other captains or noblemen would probably hire me, and I would serve the Sun and Moon Council. And I'd be able to see more of Ishtara outside of Berry, as a real knight. Unable to remain still, I hopped out of bed and paced restlessly. I approached the window, not sure what I was expecting. How are those two doing anyway? It's not like Kerr can transform back and sleep how he always does. I wonder if I can find them and check on them quickly. Snatching the blanket off my bed, I wrapped it around my shoulders like an oversized shawl. Then I strapped on my belt and scabbard and walked out the door. Outside it was comfortably cool, and I found the sound of crickets and frogs soothing as I walked beside the river. I guess I was subconsciously anticipating to find Omari sleeping on the bank or underwater. On a whim, I entered the apple orchard. I spotted Omari sitting against one of the tree trunks. His ears instantly perked up, although I had the feeling he'd heard me approaching earlier. Can't sleep. Something like that. I sat down next to him. He poked at the grass in front of him dejectedly. Kerr wouldn't bond with me. Huh? Bond? Dragons bond by nestling together. I thought since we were going to be travel companions despite our differences. He hated the idea though. Kerr doesn't seem to be like to be touched in general, I imagine. He stared at me hopefully.
Well...
He stopped and tucked his knees up, his arms resting around his legs. What about you? Is it different between Heavenkind? I scrambled to formulate an answer. Well, cuddling is something between family and loved ones. Hugs are more acceptable between friends. What did I know? My mind was full of knighthood dreams and sword skills. In no way was I the most authoritative representative. Oh my god, too many ifs regarding Heavenkind relationships. Hug? You put your arms around someone and hold them close. I mimed the action using my blanket. He nodded in understanding. Then I guess you wouldn't, Oh, let's give him a hug. Declining Amari would be like rejecting a basket full of kittens. Kittens that all looked up at you pleadingly. For a few minutes. I can't stay out here all night. I do need to return to my bed. I shuffled over to him until we were shoulder to shoulder, and adjusted the blanket so it draped over both of us. It's not that cold out? Oh, look at them, they're so cute. Not really, it feels nice. So I forgot to get this earlier, but why are you interested in learning about Heavenkind? Because your culture is fascinating. Huh?
That is so
Everything.
amazing!
Everything the Heavenkind do is amazing. You can create things I've never seen before. And look, you can do this. He wiggled his thumbs and fingers. That is so dexterous. I laughed and mimicked him momentarily. It's true, our kinds are interacting more. I assume you've heard of it.
Of course.
Yes, I'd like to be a sort of mediator. I think you call it a diplomat. I've already tried to help Heavenkind before, but it didn't work out. It's harder than it looks. How so? Well, this one incident, they were willingly entering this monster's mouth, and there was nothing I could do about it.
What? No.
A monster? Yes, a strange one that smells of wood and floats on the water. I've never seen it before, and the Heavenkind simply enter it. I nudged it a few times, but people seemed upset. Elmari, those are boats. Were you supposed to travel up and down the river?
What?
So it wasn't a monster? He slumped into the blanket, mortified. I patted him on the shoulder, trying to reassure him. It's okay, misunderstandings happen. You had good intentions. And now you'll be able to study Heavenkind at a more personal level. I'll do my best to clarify anything you're uncertain of. In return, tell me more about Dragonkind. That seems fair. I'll try not to ask any more boring questions, though. I mean, what interested in me didn't seem so fun for you. I'm never churning butter again. Feeling that our conversation had reached a satisfying note, I clutched the blanket and stood up. You'll be fine by yourself?
Of course.
Yes, I'll see you in the morning. Playfully, I draped the blanket back over him. Even a dragon might need an extra layer of warmth in a heaven-kind body. Take care, then. As I sauntered back to my house, easily guided by the bright moon, I spotted Kerr restlessly pacing by the door. Puzzled, I approached him. Need something? Elmari's past the river if you're looking for him.
I don't care.
Nothing to do with him, but thanks for the heads up, since I can avoid him as here. Would have given a light punch to the shoulder, but I remembered he hated contact. Mean. Play nice. I'll be travelling with you after all. Hope you don't mind being stuck with me until you reach Oliver. I think we'll have fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Annoying.
I've noticed. I heard you squealing even from afar. My ears couldn't shut it out if I tried. I'm sorry. It's just something I've always wanted to do, and now it's the perfect opportunity. All the experience from my freelance jobs will finally pay off, and I'll be on the road to knighthood. Let's make tomorrow's task a successful one. We're guarding the wagon, so the merchant's cargo will arrive safely in Oliver. Think you can handle it? He wrinkled his nose. An escort mission. Not the most glamorous duty, but it's honourable. Anyway, I'm going to bed. I promised I'll stop screaming. As I was about to open the door, Kerr stepped forward.
Look,
He scratched the back of his neck sheepishly. Surprised by his rather modest display, I looked at him intently. Yes? About earlier, when you crammed that food into my mouth?
Oh, sorry about that.
I was joking, so don't worry about it. I'm sorry if it seemed mean-spirited. That wasn't my intention. No, you alright? Huh? Kerr seemed both shocked and offended by my reaction.
thanks.
What I mean to say is, yeah, did help me a little. A little? I gave you a walking stick, I fed you, I fought a giant bird, I took you to the altar, got ditched, only for you to come crawling back, and I accepted you a second time. Now I'm starting to wonder why I did. Feigned contemplating, and he glanced away anxiously, as if dreading I would refuse to help him now. I stuck my tongue out to appease him. Don't worry about it. Maybe I was right about me having immeasurable kindness. I'm grateful, but yeah, exaggerated a bit. Yeah, definitely not the best Heavenkind has to offer. Pete, I gave him a swift kick to the back of the leg. Ah!
Right.
You're right, I'm not. But I'll definitely be the best knight. Even if I lost some kindness points with that action, I'll re-earn them tomorrow. Night, Kerr. Night. I closed the door behind me, resisting the urge to squeal about tomorrow. And that, believe, is a really good point to end. Chapter 4 to Oliver. So we're going to save here. And we are going to end the stream here. And we are going to raid Scruff. That took slightly longer because I was talking lots. But it's been a real pleasure hanging out with you all. Big boy Scruff in. There we go. So we're gonna raid. Thank you everyone for hanging out with me tonight. It's been brilliant. Thank you so much. Yeah, love hanging out with you all. It's awesome. So everyone take care. But for now, I've been Joe, otherwise known as Angel SK. Sorry, Kai, you missed story time. I'll try and catch the beginning of your stream tomorrow, though. But yes, otherwise, I've been Joe, otherwise known as Angel SK. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. And I will see you probably at the weekend. Definitely Monday. Do a bonus for the bank holiday. But for now, let's go say hi to Scruff. And I'll bid you good night.